Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take that track that we just saved, where we did the basic syncing of the tracks, and we're going to add a click track to it, and we're also going to add drones to it. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to open up the project that I just finished with. There it is there. That's the one we had before. And now I'm going to go and bring in the other elements. So first I'm going to bring in the drones. So we're going to say File, Import, Audio. Let's go back to our folder. Here's our folder. There's drones long. Okay? So there's our drone channel. It's down at the bottom. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and move it up to the top. Now I could say drones move track up. It's kind of a pain. Or I could say move to top, which could be okay. But remember, we have my key that I set up if you followed the document. In this case, Alt, up arrow, moves it all the way up. I'm just going to keep hitting it till I know that it's all the way at the top. There it is. It's all the way at the top. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a click track. So I'm going to come down here, click below the last track, and say Tracks, Add New, Mono Track. It's going to add a blank track for me. Now I'm going to say Generate Click Track. Now this is set to 90 beats per minute, which is what all of our 4/4 marches were set to when we recorded them on the CD. So here's 4 beats per bar. In this case, 70. I know 70 is probably going to be fine, big enough for what I want to do. Individual click duration. How long is the click going to actually sound? 10 milliseconds. And then down here are some other settings that you can mess around with if you feel like it. I haven't had to. I did run into a problem once where I accidentally changed this number and the clicks were all wrong. Actually, I think I changed this number and the clicks were messed up because it goes strong, weak, 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 strong, weak, weak, weak. In this case, because it's a 4/4. So if the things sound a little weird, it's because of that. I'm going to hit OK. And there's my click track. I'm going to take that, click it, Alt up arrow, and move it all the way up. So now we'll go up to that track. So I'm going to take my drone track and move it over. Now, what is the drone track? The drone track was actually 3 pipers sitting around in chairs with their drones plugged up. The drone's not plugged up, but everything else plugged up. Chanter was plugged up. And they all started together and we recorded them for a few minutes. I don't even remember how long. And there's actually 3 recordings of that on here. We took that and we turned that into our drone channel. Let's listen to that channel. Again, I can click solo and just hit play. I mean, that sounds kind of cool. I mean, you can hear the initial inrush. It might be good to have it like that. You could start it in other places like this, right? You could even cut this off. So let's fool around with that a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, all right, let's take this and chop the beginning of it off, and I'm just going to delete it. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to open this up. Remember, this is your sound. You can do whatever you want to it. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do this. So it's not such a harsh entry. I'm going to come in and say fade out or fade in. So it kind of almost sounds as if it could sound as if it's somebody blowing up. Right? It's going to happen so fast you may not even notice it. But I'm going to use the original one that was there. So Control Z, there's my original one. Now, I may not like this being this loud. I may want to knock that down a little bit. So we know how to do that. I can go in here and I can say, you know, I'm going to knock the volume down a little bit. So I'm going to say Effect, Compressor. Okay. Oops. Control Z. A little too much. Effect, Amplify, -1. Control R for repeat. I don't know what that's going to sound like. Interesting. Let's clean up this side too, the same way. Control R. Sounds kind of interesting. It almost sounds like it's at the beginning, which in this case it was. So we'll keep that. Okay? So now let's get our click track lined up. So we're going to take our click track, we're going to bring it down closer to our right quick march from our pipe major. So Alt, arrow down. Remember, this is the hotkey that I set up. All right, so we're going to click this, which allows me to move this around. I'm going to line that up. I'm going to eyeball it right now and line it up, see where it goes. Okay. I'm going to turn everybody on. Actually, what I can do is solo this and solo that. All right, let's see what it sounds like.
By the right, quick, march.
Sounds pretty good. Sounds like he's right on the click. Okay? So now, my drones. Where do my drones come in? All right? So I'm gonna play with this here now. Let's go add some drums so we can hear the drummers come in. All right?
By the right, quick, march.
All right. Our drones come in right here on this beat. All right? I'll bring this over. Bring it over to that beat. There we go. Let's listen to that now.
By the right, quick, march.
Okay? Again, notice the volume up here. It's crashing into the top. I'm not worried about that yet. I'm not mixing. I'm worried about getting the sound so that it's everything is lined up. All right, let's go turn everybody on. So the easiest way is, of course, put everybody back to normal. Turn all the solos off. I'm going to turn this off, and I want to leave this on for now, so I just leave it like that. So, there we are. All right, so now we should hear everything.
By the right, quick, march.
Okay, I like that. Now the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to do a little trimming. We're going to do some trimming to clean this up. So I'm getting close to being, since everything is synced, I'm going to take my drones and move them down. Oops, sorry. I'm going to take my click track and move it up. I'm going to need it later when I do my stop, but right now I'm not going to need it. The other thing I'm going to do is I want to clean up some of this. I want to trim some of this off because I'm not going to need it all. But one of the things I have to be careful about is see how much longer these are than this. I want to add some extra stuff in here because I want them all to be the same width. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to click here. Come in here. Notice it lined up. Generate silence. Okay. So it makes my drones. Remember this? Those lines are now cut points. Control J gets rid of them. Control J. Well, there we go. They're gone. Okay? I can do the same thing here. I'm just going to go in and insert some silence in case I need it later. It might help me to keep this all synced up. Generate silence. There we go. All right. Now, where's my drums? There's my drums. Now what I want to do is I'm going to chop some of this off just to be sure that I'm not running into any problems later. So I'm going to take off from here back. From here back. So one of the things I can do is minimize everybody. I can come to, let's say, here. Highlight everybody, okay, and just hit delete. Now we're all synced up. Everything is where it should be, okay? In fact, at the beginning of a CD, you want to have about a second of dead time. I'm not ready to add that. I can add that later. Right now, I may have to move things around, so I'm not going to add that yet. All right, we're going to go clip back at the end also. Let's go to the end. Here's the end. Now I got a whole bunch of stuff there at the end. Remember what I said. There was 3 bagpipe tunes in here. So we got to figure out, I want to cut where the minstrel boy end. Now I know it's somewhere around here. I've actually done this a few times, so I know it's somewhere around here. So let's go play. Let's come in here. That's the Wrap the Green Flag, which is the tune after the Minstrel Boy. So right here around 50. Now, when you're trimming this off, this is going to be a preliminary trim. We're not going to get crazy, but I want to make sure that I keep this last drum beat. This is where the tune is going to cut. But I got to make sure I keep this last drum beat, and the reason will become apparent later on. So I am going to get rid of everything. Let's make sure that I'm right. So this is the beat where I start the next tune. Okay? So I'm going to get rid of everything from here down. So I'm going to hit Control-I, right? Control-J, will that do it? I don't want to have to do this. What a pain. If there's a better way to do this, I don't know. I'm holding the Shift key. Click, click. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Okay, interesting. I'm going to go all the way to the end. Still holding the Shift key. Bink. Delete. All right. Now you might say, look at all this other space we still have. That was a result of the drone track that I had in there. It's not a problem. Here we go. All right. Now I'm going to go and add some dead space in here. I'm just going to go add a few minutes of dead space. Generate silence. All right. There we go. So I have my dead space. Right? Here's my clip. So I've cleaned up some of this stuff. All right. Now we're going to save this because I don't want to do too much. I say, okay, let's save this now. We're going to say File, Save Project. Actually, what we should do is maybe what we'll do is clean all of this off and make it silent, because I'm not going to need this by the right quick march anymore. I'm already synced up. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to highlight, right? And I'm going to hit delete. Oh, nope, sorry. Didn't want to hit delete. I wanted to generate silence. See what happened when I hit delete? It pulled everything over. That's bad. I don't want to do that. Whoop. I don't want to chop anything off. Now you can get really crazy and get very close to this if you have to. And sometimes you do, because there might be noise, especially at the end when somebody didn't listen to you and they made the decision, oh, I'm going to speak right after the thing is over. But you can actually cut that off and clear that stuff out. It is a pain sometimes, but you can fix it. Generate silence. And now when you play it, you'll hear the click. All right. So I think I can say Control A will highlight everything. Control J should get rid of all of those bars. It'll basically join the tracks together. Individual tracks, not across tracks. All right, so that cleans up that side. This side I'm not going to worry about yet. That's clean. So we have a pretty clean track here. So I'm going to save this file. Save project as. In this case, I'm saving this guy as 002 Minstrel Boy drones and trimmed. Okay. All right.